This is our campaign. We're going to introduce you to the problem of Arauquita. We also try to suffer into this war. Consequently, we can say no more violence and no more environment in shows. So you can follow us.
Science 19. We've been affected by this war, but the environment incidents are increasing during this year by the military groups and destroying this beautiful country and this ancestor of our Colombia. Other things that it's important to speak is the protest laws that the state have. We propose more laws that make the environment more secure. By the way, as the population, we have the responsibility to protect Arauquita, so we need more military supplies and protect civilians.
One on the biggest wilds on Arauquita. It's now on the principal environment in shows. There were animals and plants, but everything changed, so have to make a big change in this country, and we were their opportunity. So we call our Arauquita to make a decision of their future.
People from Arauquita. For a long time, we've been attacked by military groups, and we aren't gonna tolerate this because it's not the humanity that was attacked. Also, they've been focused on the environment, and that's not acceptable. Arauquita should be the principal focus on this war as other states. This state has the most military activity. It's time to say no more violence, no more firefights, and no more environment issues. However, we've been suffering so much, and it's the moment to recognize the victims, because we still remember the night of June 21st, 2001, where the paramilitary groups came to a family's house and with machetes killed 5 persons from the same family, and there were three brothers. One was 8 years old, the second one was 6 years old, and the last one 2 years old. El registro único de víctimas (RUV) recognizes a total of 11,784 victims from the war. When I was a child, I was impressed by nature. There were so many animals and plants, and I could breathe a great quality of air. Although everything changed, and now there aren't any animals, and the rivers have serious environmental issues. People from Arauquita, we have a dream that one day the violence that has fragmented Colombia for 50 years will end, and that among Colombians we can enjoy happiness, because this war is suffering by people and the environment. Despite the conditions, we can make this nation more peacefully and have an excellent environment. And that's why, as elect, we must mitigate the social and environmental problems that Arauquita is facing, and the terrorist attacks against our flora and fauna. Also, we won't tolerate these type of acts, because Arauquita has suffered the consequence of a war full of insensitive and coldness. As we have seen in this conflict, war is not the solution. It leads to more violence and leads to more socio-environmental consequences. Therefore, the only way out of our dream is dialogue. As for our natural environment, laws that take care of it and restore the big wetland that Arauquita must be mitigated. This state currently requires a strengthening of its environmental laws. Another point to mention is that to protect our environment, exploitation must cease of natural resources. Since they promise us a controlled exploitation, but none of this has been fulfilled. We must also conserve our ecosystem by returning to a more sustainable life. As a result of these exploitations, entire indigenous communities have been displaced, turning them into a nomadic population and destitute as well as peasants because their livelihood has disappeared due to contamination. Regulate the intervention of foreign companies to avoid that they leave a negative impact on the environment. Since we have seen how they take away the wealth, leaving the inhabitants with misery and without livelihood resources. Also, facing another problem that is corruption of the Colombian state, diverting the resources, royalties, which should be invested in social and environmental problems in the region. We still have a chance, because as a municipality we can fight for what belongs to us as Arauquitanos. They have deprived us of our participation. They have extorted money from us, and they have violated us the right to live in a healthy and peaceful environment. Therefore, it is important to support and protect our social leaders. The ELM and the FARC Tent and the 45th fronts have been present in the region. The war between these structures for the domination of coca crops and drug trafficking routes in the region have caused the death of hundreds of victims. At least 3 massacres were registered in the municipality in 1999, 2001, and 2008. The little tourism that takes place in the department, it is done irresponsibly, thus affecting the ecosystem due to the poor disposition of waste. There are no environmental policies that are fully enforced. As we can see, the environmental conditions in the department of Arauca are deplorable due to the hand of a man that has influenced our nation to deteriorate, every day causing serious damage to our ecosystem. Because it's our dream and nobody can take off. You have the decision on your hands, so do you really want peace and Arauquita? And that's the reason we can make Colombia better, because Arauquita is still alive. Now we can say no more violence and no more environment issues anymore.